And, well, this isn't the full live stream. This is his fast facts, which I think absolutely needs to be looked at. And yeah, Alex, Shirohei, I think, did like a 3-minute video on that we may watch afterwards, but I want to do Legal Mindset's fast facts first. So we're going to take a look at his fast facts outlining how Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk can basically end Hasan and Twitch if they really wanted to. So we're going to jump right into this. This is going to be really interesting. Just as an aside, this is my own personal thing. I much prefer his introduction to his live stream versus his fast facts. His fast facts is very calm, very low-key music. If you've ever seen the introduction to his live stream, he actually starts it with long, man. His live stream introduction is so much more fun than his fast facts one. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Elon Musk is calling out Jeff Bezos to help end Hasan Piker and Twitch. It's coming to a head here in the post-Charlie Kirk world, and we're going to get into it on the Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is the Fast Facts version of the quickest and latest in legal news. If you like this format, please like the video and leave a comment below.
Why are you guys saying what? Seriously? Yes, when Andrew does his live stream on YouTube, he starts off with I think it's a South Korean commercial, like the audio, like long, man, which is a candy. It's like a candy commercial, but he has it with like a sprite of what's his name? The anime lawyer. Oh, oh God, I can't remember the character. Help me out, chat. Who's that anime? Right. It's Phoenix Wright. Yeah. He's got a sprite of like Phoenix Wright, and he has the long man commercial audio playing in the background. Thank you, Heckle. I gotta turn those off. Thank you, Heckle, for the prime.
On what you think. So we're going to get right into it with the presentation today. Of course, I've got a PowerPoint.
Right. He's going to have a PP. So I've got to shift over here. I will unfortunately be blocking Andrew when he shrinks down, but it's important to see the PP. And that's PowerPoint for all you sickos out there, not P. It is short for PowerPoint.
Point for you. Now, in this follow-up to the post-Charlie Kirk assassination, we've had many people calling for the removal of Hasan. Now, one of the big things that helped with this and really pushed this forward was a certain video by a certain Tectone here, which is the compilation he put together.
This was, and for those of you that don't know, this is when I watched Rev.
Ember, pull up the long man commercials for the uninitiated.
Neighbors air bite. So, for those of you that don't know, this is basically Tectone put in. We saw some of this on the Rev video we watched that I just had to stop. With the shit that Hasan was spewing, I had to stop and shut it down. Like, that was the react that I literally had to cut short. Because these were the videos where he is literally like screaming into the microphone to kill people. He is literally, no hyperbole, screaming, like it's multiple examples of him screaming into the microphone that his viewers should be killing people. It is absolutely fucking disgusting. And that's what this is. He's like, I think he's actually going to quote Hasan in his PowerPoint of what he says.
Showing, saying, hey, Twitch is corrupt and needs immediate action. Twitch, you must ban Hasan. Now, I cannot play that, or I'm not going to play it on the...
No, I will take it one step further than Tectone. It's Twitch doesn't only need to ban Hasan. Twitch, I I will say this again because I've constantly said this. Twitch needs to get rid of everyone from Dan Clancy on down in terms of the upper echelon of Twitch. Every one of them from the top down needs to go. There needs to be a 100% leadership and moderation change at Twitch. 100%. They need to clean house. Jeff Bezos and Amazon needs to fucking clean house from the top down to the moderation team. Every fucking one of them has to go. Every one of them. Because they have all proven by the way that they protect Hasan with everything that they've got that they are all culpable and that they all agree. They agree with and promote Hasan, who is literally promoting murder. I'm not mincing words on this. Hasan is literally promoting and advocating for murder. There's no fucking around with this. That is what he does. And by Twitch not permabanning him, they are basically saying, we fully support and agree with Hasan by not banning him. Because bearing in mind, the videos that we watched that Tectone put up, those were months ago. Like, many months ago. The stuff that we've seen where we've watched like Red videos and Hero videos and stuff like that, those were more recent. Like when he stated on stream that Rick Scott, the Congressman Rick Scott should be killed, or Senator Rick Scott should be killed. That was much more recent. These are even older, and he never caught a ban for any of it. And so, Twitch, from the top down to moderation, every fucking one of them needs to be fired. Every one of them. Amazon needs to clean house on Twitch. There is no other alternative at this point. Amazon does not have any alternative right now but to clean house. Otherwise, well, Andrew's going to point out how culpable they are. And I'm going to point out that Andrew will probably say something in this fast facts, and he said this on his live stream. He said something that I have been saying for fucking months. I want to say almost since I started streaming over a year ago, I have been saying what Andrew has said on his live stream, and he may say it here on, he may say it here on his fast facts as well. So I'm gonna let it cook, and if he doesn't say it, I will point it out afterwards.
A shorter version, because I think it's going to trigger the algorithm with some of the words that are said. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is on YouTube. But I've got a nice summary for you here of Hasan's statements.
Here we go.
You can kind of read them for yourself here, saying, yeah, and I'm just going to sub it for a PC word, delete them, delete those MFers, delete these MFers in the street, let the streets soak in their red capitalist blood.
Very he might. He didn't simply just say this. He was screaming it during that stream. What he said, what he says here that Andrew's gonna be quoting, Hasan was literally screaming this on stream. With righteous fury in his eyes. But he was screaming it at his followers. And bearing in mind, he's got a lot of followers. He has 5-digit followers in his streams, and that's not even including any of his Twitter followers. And he was screaming this stuff on stream. Never once caught a ban. And I don't know if Andrew's going to say it in his fast facts, but this is something else that I've said before. If it was anyone else on Twitch that said a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of this, they would have been permabanned instantaneously. For fuck's sake, Tectone has caught 7-day bans for calling Frogan fat. He caught a 7-day ban for calling Frogan fat, and he has never caught a single ban for the. Hasan has never caught a single ban for this. Not one ban.
that is the direct quote there, then you need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these MFers and letting their intestines writhe on stage. And then he follows that with the, Hasan follows that in a different clip with slice them up. Yes, slice them and dice them. There is no way. There is no context. There is no later explanation. There's no in Minecraft you can add to that to make these comments okay, particularly when they are directed towards individuals, directed toward groups, directed towards specific people. These are calls to violence. These are wishing death, in fact, painful death on people for simply being your political opponents. It's completely unacceptable. And this line of thinking,
I'm gonna actually do a one better than Andrew. Andrew he's being a lawyer, so he's trying to be reasonable and he's trying to, stick to just the facts, man. But I'm gonna do one better. Hasan not only wished death, Hasan literally, in his own words, is calling for murder. He even used that word. He is literally called for the murder of people on his stream. Okay? That's not simply just like wishing death upon another individual because like, oh, I hope they get hit by a truck or something. No, he's literally calling out to his followers to take to the streets and actually murder individuals. That should have been an instantaneous fucking permaban, and that should have instantaneously been a FBI, open up! Moment. Like, I said, Andrew is trying to be, Andrew is like sticking to just the facts. He's trying to speak to this in moderation. I am not going to be that kind. And I'm going to call it the fuck out that he actually called for his followers to murder people. That is a crime. He should be in prison for that. And he should not be platformed on Twitch or anywhere else for that matter. He shouldn't be platformed on Twitch. He shouldn't be platformed on YouTube. He shouldn't be platformed on Kick. Shouldn't be platformed on any of them. That is literally advocating for all of his followers to commit crime.
Is very much what ended up radicalizing an individual to ultimately end up commit the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So this is exactly the sort of behavior that needs to be eliminated from the workplace, from the media, etc. This does not need to be out there. Once again, death threats and calls for direct violence and calls to violence or insurrection have never been protected speech. They've never been something that's out there and been okay. And in fact, if somebody who is the political opposite of Hasan had said this, they would probably be behind bars. They would probably be investigated by the FBI. They'd probably be locked up. But
yeah. So he did say, but I'm also going to point something out. Why the fuck hasn't the FBI raided his house after this? Why haven't the police issued an arrest warrant for him for incitation of violence? The local police, the FBI, would have fucking kicked down the doors of another streamer. Like, God forbid, someone on stream actually said, God forbid, a popular streamer says on their stream, you should go kill leftists. God forbid. Another streamer said that, and instead of with Hasan saying kill all the capitalist pigs, boy, that sounds familiar, don't it? But God forbid, if someone said, yeah, kill all those leftist pussies, and did it as vehemently as Hasan did, replace, and Andrew may do this because he did this on stream, but in case he doesn't, replace capitalist with communist. Like, say it was not Hasan and you replace the words capitalist with communist, the FBI would be blowing the fucking door in to take this guy to jail. Why haven't they done that with Hasan? Again, these quotes are from streams of his from months ago. Like, I don't even know how many months, but several months ago. Fishy, raw. And Andrew just said it. This is not protected by freedom of speech. All of this right here, incitation of violence or telling people to murder someone, is not protected under freedom of speech at all. So, nope. First Amendment doesn't protect you on this whatsoever. Freedom of speech has never, nor will it ever, protect calls for violence, especially murder. Doesn't work.
But for too long, we've allowed these comments to slip, and we've allowed these comments to go under the rug. And it's only now that we go back and review them and say, no, we need to stop this. We need to clean this up.
Vespasian, to your point, never interrupt your enemy while he's burying himself in evidence against himself. Here's the problem. There is more than enough evidence at this point. There is more than enough evidence to make an ironclad case against him. Why have they not arrested him yet? This right here is plenty of evidence, and I'd say this stream of his, where he screamed this into the microphone, is minimum 6 to 8 months old. At minimum. I'm not sure when the streams originated, but minimum 6 to 8 months old. How much more evidence does the FBI need? How much more evidence does the LAPD need? They have way more than enough at this point to arrest him. Way more than enough. They have an overabundance. Because don't forget, you have this on top of him saying, calling for Senator Rex Scott to be killed. Like, there is a preponderance of evidence right now to arrest him for inciting violence. There may very well be enough evidence to support an arrest for terroristic threats. Like, Fishy, I don't think he's flying under the radar anymore. People have been tagging the FBI like fucking crazy on Twitter about Hasan for months, while also showcasing clips of him saying this. No, he's not flying under the radar. Not at all. Not at all.
That we're actually looking at it. And many people, myself included, have been calling for this for a while. Now, actually, I hadn't seen the clip involving the red capitalist blood. That actually, I just saw that one in the compilation. I hadn't seen that one previously. So even I, who's had some interactions with Mr. Piker, did not know about that. That is very, very much not okay. And there's really nothing in terms of explanation or cope or whatever else that can make saying that to an audience of tens of thousands, ultimately millions on the rewatch and people commenting on it. There's nothing that makes that okay. And this is very much the reason why people are celebrating death and calling for more death, is because people like this, like Hasan and his followers, to be clear, because there are others that follow and make similarly crazy statements. These sort of statements are exactly why we're in the position we are today. And it's gotten the notice of Mr. Musk. Mr. Musk is tagging Jeff Bezos, as he knows that Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, which is the parent company of Twitch, saying, what's up here, Jeff? What's going on, Jeff? Now, mind you, Jeff is no longer the CEO of Amazon, but he is the largest shareholder and the executive chair of the board of directors. So he has a lot of say. In fact, I would say it's actually a better position than the CEO, because you don't have to run the day-to-day. You just have the most say in the company. So Jeff Bezos can absolutely team up with Musk to stop this. And he's got a massive incentive. I'm going to explain to you why. So there are morality clauses in corporate contracts. I've talked about these before. I'm going to talk about them again here today. You guys really need to remember this, because this is standard language in almost every corporate contract. They allow for cancellation for anything that would damage the reputation of the company, or anything negative for PR, anything that's not going to be positive for PR in the company. They can terminate for that reason. So all of these would have a morality clause tucked into them. So simply for the fact that this is not a good look for the companies and institutions and governments that are engaged, they can terminate these contracts. And these contracts can be terminating contracts with subcontractors or vice versa. So, for example, we had a contractor that was writing a Sonic comic book making crazy statements. Sega could cancel that contract. We have bookstores that have already refused to sell Stephen King based on his comments and what he's been saying, right? And you've got anime and gaming.
Hang on.
right? You've got a lot of localizers, a lot of people out there that are absolutely unhinged and making death threats and calls for violence.
Eh?
Companies can terminate that. Conventions, cons can say we are not permitting violence. And in fact, I would say this is going to be
Leo, apparently, very, at the time of Charlie Kirk's death, I don't know specifically what was said. Apparently, Stephen King put out a tweet that I believe could be considered like celebratory in regards to Charlie Kirk's death. I don't know what the tweet was. And the tweet has since been deleted, and he's since issued an apology. He said, let's see, he said Charlie was pro stoning gay people. Okay, yeah, so he said, he tweeted out something very disparaging regarding Charlie Kirk right after his death, which has since been deleted, but the damage is done. Unfortunately, the damage is done. We see that here where, we have bookstores that are refusing to sell any of his books. So he did recant and apologize that, but too little too late, I think, as evidenced here. The bookstores are refusing to sell, and there are multiple other businesses with high up officers in the businesses that have made similar or even worse disparaging remarks in regards to Charlie Kirk, where they were basically dancing on his grave. These are big businesses that had people high up. There was the game developer. I think it was. I can't remember who. But there was a game developer. Was it Sucker Punch? Okay, I think it's more than just one. Yeah, it was. That's right. It was a game developer for Ghosts of Yotei that was basically dancing on Charlie Kirk's grave, and they fired him. And even after they fired him, he's still tweeting out, "I don't care. I still stand by it." Bethesda is also another one. These people that these game devs have hired, these DEI hires that are celebrating this man's death, are getting fired, and the companies are now finding out that they're going to lose a lot of gamers because they allowed people like this to work on their games. How is this going to affect Ghost of Yotei sales? With Bethesda did it. How is it going to affect their upcoming sales? This could cause severe damage to their entire companies. Revan, Sega apparently canceled a Sonic comic book because I guess maybe it was the artist or writer for the comic book was doing the same thing, and so they just flat out canceled the entire comic book. A lot of companies are going to see major damage. I don't know about irreversible, and Leo. I'm not prepared to say irreversible damage because, as much as I hate to say it, outrage of this sort these days can be short-lived. No, Bird Pirate, I'm blocking him, but yes, we are watching Legal Mindset's Fast Facts. That is what we are watching. It is his actual Fast Facts. New Red Hood series is also canceled. Yeah, here's the thing to keep in mind though. Because all of this is still very fresh, we are seeing an explosive amount of outrage in regards to this. We are. The question is how long of a shelf life this outrage is going to have. How long is the shelf life of people that become enraged with these companies that have had the employees that have been saying this reprehensible stuff online? Because we've seen this before, where we've seen outrage at companies, and exactly. This outrage may, keyword there, may be short-lived. People will basically have this explosion of outrage. They will get that emotional release by expressing outrage at these companies. Before too long, that the story dies down and goes away and people forget. That is just that is how things like this work these days online.
I wonder if collective anuses are going to be experiencing a lot of find out because of what happened in Utah last week.
TRC, I doubt it. It's not in the same zeitgeist as what the collective cunts do, so probably not, I would say. And Fat Man, thank you for the gifted.
Be very effective if every
Well, Black Wolf? There's an excellent question. Like this, there are a lot of people that still do. In fact, a lot of people are utilizing a lot of people are basically combining what occurred in Minnesota and what happened in Utah. They're combining them together as ammunition against the quote left. So they are in the they still remember it in the aspect of they're using it as they're using it as a banner against their quote enemies. Cause that's something that I've seen a lot of. That is something I've been seeing a lot of in comments on my videos is regardless of the pleas that I made to not just basically take this and respond with violence and that we have to get back to peace and kindness and not basically go the route of attacking. I've been seeing a lot of people that are basically responding with basically they're preparing for war. And that's a scary thought. And this is a part of it. Because while I haven't heard anything yet, what is the possibility that this person that committed this murder was a Hasan watcher? That has not come out yet. If it did, God fucking help us, because there is a large subset of the population that literally is preparing for war. Black Wolf, it's been that way for some time. And I'm not going to get into it because it is off topic. Maybe I'll say something after the video, but it's already started, and not just from individuals.
Can say we are not permitting violence. And in fact, I would say this is going to be very effective if everybody, all the other streamers out there in their niche, because I know a lot of guys, maybe you're a bookworm, maybe you like movies, maybe you like games, anime, whatever you like, whatever you nerd out on, the people who are celebrating this, and the companies involved. You can bring those names and those social media profiles to the attention of those companies, and they absolutely, triggering their morality clause, can terminate these contracts. And there's some massive ones at stake here. Let's talk about the Amazon contract.
Okay, so what Andrew is not saying, he said this in his live stream. I was hoping he'd say it here so I could have my hurrahs. He said this in his live stream, that the way to go after Twitch on this is, as I have said probably for at least a year, you go after their money. You go after their money, you go after their bank accounts. Because when you go after their money, when you go after their bottom line, that is when they sit up and go, oh shit, we need to actually take this seriously. Which I have been saying for a fucking year. With shit like this. You want to make someone sit up and pay attention? You go after their money. Because, yes, Sunset, that is the only thing they give a fuck about. If you go after their money, they will have no choice but to pay attention. And what Andrew is going to do right now is detail how they could go after Amazon's money to make them sit up, pay attention, go, oh, we maybe need to do something about this Twitch situation.
Amazon, once again, Jeff Bezos and Amazon have massive amounts of money at stake, far more than Hasan Piker will ever make in his entire pathetic career online. He's got Amazon has the wild and stormy cloud computing government contract. This is a $10 billion contract. Once again, no amount of Labubu's is going to make that amount of money for Hasan Piker, and that's with the NSA. You've got the DoD Joint Warfighting Cloud Capacity Contract. That is an infinite delivery, infinite quantity, multiple award contract. I mean, this is...
Revan, this is why. What Andrew is detailing here is contracts with Amazon. If the government decides to look at what is happening on Twitch with Hasan and say, we don't want to have anything to do with Amazon as a whole, and so the government can pull these billion-dollar contracts from Amazon because of what Hasan is doing on Twitch, that will make them sit up and pay attention. So they can go after Amazon legitimately. They can legitimately pull these contracts because Twitch is under the banner of Amazon. So the government can say, we don't want to have anything to do with you because you are promoting terrorism and you are promoting violence against the populace on your streaming platform. And so we're going to basically take our money and we're going to go find an alternative.
That it was essentially infinite government money that's on the line, right? Hasan cannot compete with that. You've got the CIA commercial cloud enterprise contract with Amazon. That's got infinite delivery and infinite quantity, right? Duration for 15 years. You've got the U.S. Navy enterprise software license. That's $724 million. Then you've got a $1 billion contract, or at least a very large contract, with the GSA, the General Services Administration. That's a federal contract. And you've got many, many, many contracts, not just with the federal government, but with state and...
V-Dog, I'm betting Kick would not allow him. I'm going to wager a bet that if Hasan made with all the shit that's going on, if Hasan made an account on Kick, 5 seconds into his first stream, they'd ban. 5 seconds in, they would probably, if they haven't already pre-banned him, they would 100% ban him. Like, Kick, if Twitch bans him, Kick will pre-ban him and YouTube will pre-ban him. They might. I'm honestly surprised that that YouTube has not actually banned Hasan's account from YouTube. That actually surprises me a little bit that YouTube has not facilitated Hasan's ban at this point. But Kick would absolutely ban him immediately. Party? Maybe Party would take him. I don't know if Party wants that kind of shade. Because if it comes out that he's streaming... Here's the thing. Hasan's reputation will follow him to whatever streaming platform he goes to. So, yes, Party took Johnny Somali, but Johnny Somali was also not advocating for wholesale murder of an entire political spectrum. Okay, it's not the same thing. So, it's like, that's the thing. His reputation will go with him, which begs the question, what streaming service will want Hasan on their platform if and when he finally gets banned from Twitch?
Local government with Amazon Business. So you've got potentially all these governments, including your local government out there, guys. And by the way, if you're liking this stuff, like the video right now. Your local government can cancel its contract with Amazon. There are competitors. There are other vendors that can do these services. Amazon is not the sole provider that can do these services. They can intervene. They can come in, and that's why you can and will and should contact your local senator, your local member of the House, your local politicians, your state representative.
Moose? Yes, it is. Basically, give you a quick catch up. Andrew's going over fast facts regarding Hasan because Tectone put out a tweet that showed multiple clips of Hasan that was screaming for his followers to murder people with opposing viewpoints in very graphic depictions. I'm not going to repeat it, obviously, but he was screaming for his followers to graphically murder people that don't agree with that. Basically, people that are quote-unquote capitalists. And Andrew's going through all the ways that Amazon, i.e. Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk could basically end Hasan and potentially end Twitch as well.
contact your local senator, your local member of the House, your local politicians, your state representatives. All these guys should know, hey, we want you to look into Amazon because they are responsible for Twitch and they're responsible for Hasan's statements. Beyond that, you've got, and this is a post I had on Twitter. And by the way, I noticed a lot of you aren't following me on Twitter. So you want to follow at The Legal Mindset. That's the correct one, not some fake anonymous account. At The Legal Mindset. That's my Twitter. But I dropped this one over. We're canceled this contract with the Twitch parent company, Amazon, unless they take corrective measures to remove violent speech from Twitch, such as removing creators like Hasan, who glorify violence and celebrate American deaths, trigger your contract morality clause. So Amazon has a three-launch contract with SpaceX. SpaceX can terminate that contract. They can say, you know what, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Elon can do it right now. Elon can do it today. Beyond that, people are going to say, oh, it's not fair. It's not fair. Guess what happened before? If you guys have a memory, if you remember back in June when Trump was fighting with Musk, Trump decided, hey, I'm threatening to cancel SpaceX's contracts. Well, guess what? They've still got that power. They've still got
it. I do feel the need to point out that Andrew's like saying, like, you know, speaking on behalf of people who are saying, oh, it's not fair. It's not fair to cancel contracts. Fair has nothing to do with this. Fairness has nothing to do with this. It's not a question about, oh, that's not fair. Like, Amazon's company, Twitch, has a streamer that has been screaming for the murder of an ideological group, has been screaming in graphic detail for the murder of people. This is not a question of fairness. This is Amazon's company, okay? Amazon owns Twitch. And if the people at Twitch are not going to take the action that they should have taken a long fucking time ago, then it's Amazon's responsibility, because this will come back on Amazon. Okay? Like Twitch is a representative of Amazon, being an Amazon company. With Twitch being an Amazon company, they are a representative of Amazon. So fairness has nothing to do with this. It literally has nothing to do with being fair. Twitch, by allowing Hasan to continue to do this on their platform, is grievously tarnishing Amazon, because since Twitch is refusing to do anything about it, eyes are now looking at Amazon like, this is your company. Are you okay with your company doing this? Are you okay with your company promoting and advocating for the murder of people that do not share this streamer's and its CEO's ideology? Because that is how it looks. The fact that Hasan it has not been banned a long time ago and has continued to advocate for the murder of an ideological group, Dan fucking Clancy is broadcasting that he agrees with and supports everything Hasan says. I will repeat that, and I don't give a flying fuck if I'm saying this on Twitch right now. Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, as well as everyone underneath him all the way down to the moderation team, support, agree with, and advocate Hasan screaming for the murder of people that do not share his ideology. Okay? So that means that if a murder takes place and Hasan can be directly linked to it, i.e., the person that commits this crime is known to have been a follower of Hasan's, and if there's any evidence to substantiate that he did that this, a hypothetical person committed a murder because Hasan told him to, not only is Hasan on the hook, Dan Clancy and everyone at Twitch is going to be on the hook for it too. Fucking every one of them. That is why everyone from Dan Clancy on down needs to be fired. Every fucking one of them needs to be out of a job. Because they are allowing this to happen.
That power to cancel any and all contracts they would have with Amazon, with any of the related companies. That's all on the table here if they don't take action, right? That's very, very much fair play. So what can you do? You can contact Amazon. You can post the video showing the promotion of violence and tag Amazon, tag government officials, tag Elon. Contact your politicians, federal, state, local. Encourage companies to seek alternative contracts with vendors other than Amazon. So say, hey guys, listen, go to their competitors. Go to somebody else. You don't need to go to Amazon unless they fix this problem. If Amazon is unwilling to fix this, they need to go. And now a little bit of tips here. This is something that somebody pointed out to me and something I said on another video. Treat this like sales. When you're making these calls, making these emails, treat it like a sale. First of all, start with consideration of the other people and their perspective and time. You know, obviously thank them for their time, thank them for listening, be very polite and express why this issue is urgent. Hey, this just happened with Charlie Kirk. There's other people at risk here. This is something that others are going to try to repeat. We need to remove violent individuals and the promotion of violence ASAP, right? Give them specific names or actions. Hey, we want you to.
And mass support. Okay, I'm pausing right in the middle because mass support, you bring up an excellent point. This is not anyone asking for new laws to be enacted because of this. There are more than enough laws on the books to facilitate arrests. There are more than enough laws. We do not need new laws in the wake of what has happened here. What we need is enforcement of the existing laws. Like Mascor, you said that exactly. You said it absolutely the best. We need to start seeing enforcement of these existing laws, because when these laws do not get enforced, you get a situation like we are in now. Like, it's literally as simple as that. Just enforce the laws that are already on the books. That is why Hasan should have been in prison a long fucking time ago. A long fucking time ago. The excuse of, oh, the FBI is building a case against him doesn't work anymore. It does not fucking work. Because the videos in question where he is literally screaming to his followers to murder someone and basically making terroristic statements happened many months ago. No. The time for investigation is over. There is more than enough evidence. He needs to be arrested. Hasan needs to be arrested. Dan Clancy needs to be arrested, as well as anyone else in the upper echelons of Twitch and the moderation team that has been supporting and basically making it possible for Hasan to keep doing this by directly violating their own TOS to let him continue to broadcast. Every fucking one of them needs to be out of a job and they need to be in jail. Every one of them. Jeff Bezos needs to step in and just take over. He flat out, Jeff Bezos needs to step in and eliminate, from an occupational standpoint, everyone at the top end of Twitch. They all need to be fucking gone, and then the police need to arrest them for facilitating and allowing, working as basically accomplices to Hasan's crimes. It needs to fucking happen.
To cancel this contract. Hey, we want you to terminate this relationship. Hey, we want you to stop doing X. Let them know and offer to help them if needed. If they need information, if they need social media profiles, they need clips, videos, offer to forward them all of that. And you might want to link them to the video, like Tectone's video out there on X. You can download that video, get it out there and say, hey, look, take a look at this video. This is what's being said on Twitch, which is a subsidiary of Amazon. This is an Amazon, baby company, a subsidiary of Amazon. Hey, look at what's going out there.
Thank you. By the way, Toshi, thank you for the tier 1. I'll do a recap at the conclusion of this because there's only like a minute left. I'll do a recap.
This is not appropriate, right? And last, this is very important. I want to add this to the end. And this is something that I know. Please say thank you. Complaints and raging emails are routine. A lot of people get raging emails and complaints. Very few people get thanks. Many times, many employees have never heard the word thank you in their career. Be polite in your communication. Be thoughtful in your communication. Use thoughtful language and precise wording. Do not be hateful. Do not yell and scream and demand they do something. Be thoughtful, be precise, be better, right?
Basically, what Andrew is saying right now with all this is the exact same thing that I and other people, other streamers were talking about with the Visa thing. That with the Visa, where Visa was fucking around with Steam and the adult games. Yeah, it's exactly the same advice when it came to Visa and MasterCard, several weeks back. It's the same advice. Be polite, be respectful, don't go raging, because rage will get you nowhere. When you rage, when you rage about something like this to people that can actually do something, it's going to go in one ear and out the other, because they'll just think you're a whack job. If you are polite, respectful, thoughtful in what you are speaking about, there's a much higher likelihood that they will take the information that you're giving them and actually ingest it.
Be better than the people screaming and reeing out there, and go in with a mission, go in with a goal, go in with an objective to get these relationships broken with anybody that's going to promote violence, or any platform or business that does not remove people that promote death.
Thank you, Ember.
You're welcome, Gran Turismo.
And violence. It's not acceptable. And remember, saying thank you is free, and it helps everybody. You feel better after saying thank you. Like right now, guys, I'm going to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being in my audience. And thank you for all the support and love you've given, despite whatever topics I cover on the internet. I appreciate you, and there's no way I can repay you for what you've given me and what I have in my life because of you guys. See that? Doesn't that feel good for everybody? Guys, take care with all those around you. Say thank you to all those in your family, friends, all those you work with, and I will catch you on the next one.
Tashi, common sense is not so common anymore. Common sense, unfortunately, is not so common. Unfortunately. Now, to bookend this video, I will just give a brief summary for those that came in late. What this video is about is Tectone posted a tweet with a compilation of Hasan clips from months back. And in this compilation of clips, Hasan was screaming, like enraged screaming for his followers to gruesomely murder in a variety of ways, basically people that don't follow his ideology, be it either political or sociological. He was screaming for his followers to, in graphic description, murder people who don't ascribe to his ideology. And what Legal Mindset was doing was going over all the ways, because Twitch refuses to do anything. Twitch continues to platform him, meaning Dan Clancy and everyone on else down is in agreement with him. They ascribe to his ideology, and they enable him to continue to do this. So what Andrew was saying is detailing the ways in which Amazon can be forced to basically take action against Twitch and against Hasan. And that is by four examples that he provided was 4 multi-billion-dollar contracts through the U.S. government that they have with Amazon to basically threaten to cancel those contracts unless Jeff Bezos does something about Twitch. So doing, as I have said for at least a year, hitting them in the wallet so they sit up and pay attention to go, oh shit, we've actually got to do something. That is the basic summary of what happened. Would it be comfortable to say that some of the craziest leftist streamers like Hasan are allowed to stay on to make the Republican centrists look good? Now, Massacre, I don't buy it. Well, some of them are blank check contracts, Turismo. Not all of them. Some of them were, yes. But that's why I said billions as a plural. Massacre, I'm sorry, I just don't buy it being a psyop. I don't. No, sorry, it just doesn't Network. And Variosoyev, I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you for the follow. And I do want to conclude this. Do not reciprocate with what Hasan has done. Do not. Okay? This community is not about violence. Now, I am not, and people, like, just so nobody misconstrues it, I am not saying that you can't defend yourself. If you are forced into a position where you are forced to defend yourself through violent means because you are given no choice, I'm not saying there's any issue with that. Far from it. If you have to defend yourself and you have to defend your loved ones because you are literally being attacked physically, I am all in support of defending yourselves. Okay? I have never in my life ever been against defending yourself should you need to defend yourself. What I'm talking about is like proactively doing what Hasan did and proactively screaming that you should kill your enemies. Proactively. By the way, take mods, yeet that fucker. Thank you. That is what I'm saying. It is, we as a community are not proactively violent against anybody. We do not call for the deaths of anyone in this community. And if I catch anyone doing it, you will not be a part of this community because that is not how we are. We are, you guys know. They preach. No, preach is not a right word. I am all about kindness and compassion and love. I think that I am all about us showing others kindness, compassion, and love, even if it's in regards to the person saying something we disagree with. Even then, I am still all about, treat someone that has a differentiating opinion of yours with kindness, compassion, love, and understanding. I've always been about that, and I will continue to always be about that. And that is what this community is all about.